Hey you guys, it's Joyce the Hippie and I am back with another video, and I wanted to just do a detox to my hair today and have a story time with you guys. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then stay tuned. But first, before I get into the story, I'm doing a detox to my hair today because my hair has been so dry. It's like I moisturize it, and my homegirl, she just don't want to be moisturized. She want to be dry. She look dry. She feel dry. So I'm thinking maybe I need to detox my hair to get all that stuff out of it, because I do put products in it. It probably has product buildup. So today I decided that I want to use this little clay mask I got off Amazon, and no, it is not sponsored, but this is something different because usually a lot of people use the Aztecs clay, but I wanted to try something a little different, and I got it off Amazon, so I'll make sure I'll link it below if you want to try it out too. And yeah, so let's get into it. All right, I got my handy dandy bowl and my spoon, and you got to make sure that it's not metal because metal messes up the chemicals in the clay. So make sure you get you a nice plastic bowl that you don't mind messing up, and a nice plastic spoon. And I got my handy dandy apple cider vinegar because that's something I chose to do. You can either use water too, but I'm gonna use apple cider vinegar because I know that it also detox your hair really well. So let's get started. So now I'm opening up the clay. It's closed. Hold on, I'm about to struggle. I would hate to see that bust all over and then it'll make a mess. So now I'm gonna put some of it in my bowl. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm just getting enough to cover my hair. My hair is pretty thick and it is growing back, and I'm spilling it as we speak. Good for me. So it is growing back, so I do know we could do a little test right here from the bottom. Yeah, she's growing back. So I do like to use a lot. So right now, this is how much I have at the bottom. And now I'm going to add some apple cider vinegar. Just give me 1 sec. Now I'm just eyeballing my apple cider vinegar. I'm just pouring as much as I think I should put in there. And I'm about to mix it up. It's bubbling. That's like my favorite part. I could hear and see it. That's like my favorite part. Now I'm just gonna mix it up. Now you kind of want like a loose paste, if that makes sense. Like you don't want it to be too clumpy, but you also don't want it to be too loose that it's not adhering to your hair. Like it's just too liquidy. So I'm gonna mix it and find my perfect balance, and I'll come right back to you guys. Hold on. All right, so I mixed it all up. Make sure you don't have no chunks in it, because I try to make sure I broke up the chunks as much as I possibly could. And now I'm just gonna apply this to my hair. I'm using this as the shampoo today, so all I'm gonna do is put this in, let it sit, and then I'm gonna deep condition for today, and hopefully my hair won't be as dry, because sis, I don't know what she got going on, but hopefully we're gonna fix it today. So let's section it off. All right, I got my handy dandy scrunchie, and I just have my clip, and my little butterfly clip, and I'm just gonna put it in half. So fix you guys. So definitely put this bad boy in half. Not doing it evenly, just making sure I part the bottom and the top. And split the back. Now my hair has already been rinsed out, so I didn't shampoo it or anything. I just took some water and rinsed it out, and then rinsed all that product out, and then I detangled it with my wide tooth comb. So now I'm gonna go ahead and apply that to my hair. So let's get started. So like I was saying, I wanted to have a story time with you guys and talk about some of the good things that's been happening in my life. And for starters, I just want to say that I don't believe in pushing your religion or your beliefs on people, but I just wanted to talk about how I think that God and the universe is very good to me, or how they've been very good to me. Also, make sure you're applying this on like wet hair. You don't want your hair to be dry. And I got my handy dandy bottle that I got off of Amazon. I'll link this as well. But yeah, let me tell you how good God is to me. So recently, if you guys didn't know, that I work at a beauty supply store. Not my first one that I worked at, but you know, when I moved down here, I needed a job, and hey, I went for it. I was like, man, I'm just happy to have a job to pay my bills. So with that being said, I was doing very good at my job. Any job that I get, I try to put my best foot forward, no matter what it is. And yeah, I was one of the great employees there, in my opinion. She was very pleased with my work. So I did have a coworker that complained about her a lot. The manager, I'm talking about the manager. She complained about her a lot and was saying that, you know, she picks on people, she got favorites, which every job has favorites. And she would kind of mess with me too. Like the lady would just nitpick on things that I would do. She'd be like, oh, I'm surprised the manager let you wear your hat. She doesn't let me wear mine. And I would be like, okay, that ain't got nothing to do with me, sis. So I would just go to work and mind my business. That was my main goal, just to go to work and just work. I wasn't trying to worry about anybody, or, you know, like I said, the manager wasn't messing with me. But then I had one of these coworkers that would just complain about her all the time and be like, oh, she picks on me, blah, blah, blah. And like I said, the manager never messed with me. She liked me. I had no problem. I would come to work, focused on my job, and I would go home. Simple as that. One day, the manager kind of like pissed that lady off to the point where she clocked out and went home and never came back. And with that being said, I kind of took over some of her responsibilities, such as working in the wig section. Now, like I said before, this ain't my first beauty supply store, so I was okay with working in the wig section. But I just didn't like how the manager would isolate me. She would isolate me to the point where I would walk up to the front to clock out for lunch, and the rest of my coworkers would be like, you were here today? It was just like, oh, yeah, I've been here for like 4 hours. Then once I got comfortable with my coworkers, I would start to talk to them more, and we, you know, develop a relationship at work. That was like a no-go with my manager. It would be to the point where she would come over and tell us, oh, you need to be quiet, don't talk when you're working. Or she'll be like, work faster, you're talking too much. Now, that didn't really bother me. It just kind of bothered me a little bit because she would always just isolate me and make me work by myself while other people would work together. But other than that, I just brushed it off. She didn't start bothering me until one day I had to call out from work because I had a pain in my chest and in my arm. And I just wanted to make sure that, you know, nothing was wrong. I do know that I am too young to have heart attacks and, you know, strokes and stuff like that. But I just wanted to make sure that everything was okay with my heart. I came back that following Monday, you know, I said good morning to her and I said, hey, I got paper for you, saying that, you know, I was at the hospital. And she was just like, okay. She didn't even say good morning back. She was just like, okay, well, I don't like when you call out because when you call out, it stresses me out. And I was like, well, I was at the hospital. I can't help that. So after that interaction, she kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. But like I said, I didn't let that affect me. And I said, okay, whatever. I mean, it kind of made me feel some type of way because I was like, dang, like, she don't even care that I went to the hospital. She just told me don't call out anymore because it stresses her out. And I was like, all right, whatever. So as time went on, I noticed that she started treating me like the lady that left. she just made me do so much, and I would just be like, all right, I guess this is a part of the job and I can't complain. Eventually, she asked me, did I want to become a manager, an assistant manager? I was super thrilled because I was like, all right, now, I don't have to do as much work, because at the time I was considered a stalker, so I was just putting merchandise on the floor. But as an assistant manager, you work more on the register. And to mind you, working on a register at that job is like a privilege. The cashiers really didn't do anything except bring the people up and clean the front area. That was it. So now we have this other assistant manager. She was like another reason why I left the job, because she was just nasty towards me. Like, her vibe was really off. And she just would say sick things to me, and I would be like, who were you talking to? So once she heard that, they were training me to be an assistant manager, she made it kind of hard for me at the front. And she would just have me doing really tedious tasks that I've never seen her make the other girls do at the register. And I mean, I would do the tasks and everything, but it just got to the point where I had to start thinking, like, if I take this assistant manager position, I'm kind of locking myself in at this job. And I really don't like the environment of this job anyway. So I told the main manager that I didn't want the position anymore, because one, you had to be there from open to close, and I was working that time, and open to close is from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And my body was tired, and I was kind of like over being there all day long. I just felt like I didn't have a life. The manager said it was fine, she had no problem with it, and she let me be considered part-time again. And I was cool with that. After that conversation, I started to realize she started, being a little more aggressive towards me. Her and the other assistant manager will watch me more often and watch if I'm talking to people, or, making sure that I was working by myself. And I realized when I didn't do something, right on time, the manager would be a little more hostile, and she would be like talking to me but rolling her eyes and raising her voice at me. I told my boyfriend every day, like, I'm gonna flick off on this woman, I'm gonna quit, I promise you I'm gonna quit. And I was just irritated at work all the time. So the plan was for me to basically quit or put in my 2 weeks notice before I went back home on vacation. I decided to go back home June the 11th. And prior to that, I asked her for, that day off, and she approved of it. So June 10th, I gave her my 2 weeks notice and told her, my last day will be the 25th of June. Then, as I'm going back home to Maryland, I noticed that she had me on the schedule for that Friday. And I didn't understand, because she approved it before. So every Friday we get our new schedule, but I noticed that the schedule wasn't up yet in the app. So I checked that Saturday, still not on the schedule. So at this point, I just realized she's not putting me back on the schedule because I gave her the 2 weeks notice. Not a problem. I'm saying, all right, okay, because the plan was to basically either quit or give him my 2 weeks notice that time anyway. You just made this transition even easier for me. Now, while I was working at that job, I was also looking for other jobs as well, like I said, and I applied for all these jobs during that week she didn't have me scheduled. And I was taking my time just looking for jobs, and I was making sure I was picking a job that I would like. And while I was off on that week, I tried to go to this staffing agency. I went, talked to the people, did all the applications, and she told me she would call me back to start orientation. The lady never called me back. I even called and texted her and no response. And so I tried this other staffing agency. They didn't even answer the phone. And when I looked at the reviews for them, they were awful. And then my boyfriend looked up some jobs for me from another staffing agency. The website wouldn't even let me apply for these jobs. So in my mind, I'm just like, man, God doesn't want me to work for these staffing agencies. So now I'm on Indeed and I'm looking at these jobs. They've been on there for a minute, but I was like, I'll still apply. And then this is what happened. So this past Monday, I get an email from one of the jobs. And like I said, I kind of forgot that I applied to some of these jobs. And, they're like, oh, we're interested. How about we have a, phone interview for Wednesday? Super ecstatic. But the thing was, this job is kind of far from where I live at. So I was like, dang, all right, the only way I can get there is by train. So I had to do some thinking and I said, all right, well, if I got to get there by train, we'll see. Right as, I'm thinking about that job and I'm like, it's too far. The other job that I applied for emailed me the same day and was like, hey, how about we have a phone interview? Perfect. I'm just super ecstatic and I'm like, great. I got another job interview. It's a little closer to home, so let's see how that goes. So now I have these interviews set up with these jobs. I look online and I saw that, H&M was having a hiring event. So I was like, okay, I can go to that too, just in case like these jobs don't come through. And we'll see what happens. I wake up this past Wednesday, I talked to one of the coffee shops and, had the phone interview and we set up a time to meet like in person and we set that up, for Monday and I was ecstatic. And I also went to the H&M hiring event. I'm sorry if you hear some noise in the background. It's my family. They're making noise. But anyway, I went to the H&M and I did the interview with them. They seemed really sweet and everything. And I got the job, but it didn't set really well with me. Like, I wasn't too ecstatic about this job like I was the other two jobs. Before I even started the H&M interview, the coffee shop from Nordstrom called me. So that was one of the other coffee shops. The other one is in the airport. So they called me and wanted an interview for next week. Now I'm excited. I'm like, oh snap. Like I said, I've already talked to the one Wednesday. That's the one at the airport. And now I have another interview for the other one in Nordstrom Tuesday, so I'm pretty excited about this. I come home and now I'm thinking about all these decisions because the coffee shop at the airport seemed really excited and they wanted to meet with me Monday to, talk and meet in person and get some more information and get background checked and stuff like that. So it sounds like I already pretty much got the job. But I also got this coffee shop at Nordstrom that's like, come for this interview, and I'm like, oh snap, it's so much happening. And then I already got this job at H&M, so I'm like, oh, decisions. Then, let me tell y'all, then I'm just randomly checking my email today, and I see that Starbucks in the same airport is like, hey, I'm interested in you. How about we set up an interview for Monday? And if you can't do it Monday, let's do it Friday. Now I'm just like, oh snap. I feel like God and the universe was listening to me because I promise you, for months when I would talk to my boyfriend, I'd be like, man, I miss working at Starbucks because I worked at Starbucks before and I enjoyed working there, but I didn't know how much I enjoyed it until I left it. And I think I left it because, I knew I left it because my manager kept scheduling me during my class time, and every time we were shorthanded, she would still let people go home. And I was like, why would you do that? And not only that, I think I was also letting other people influence it. Letting other, I feel like God and the universe was listening to me, because I promise you, for months when I would talk to my boyfriend, I'd be like, man, I miss working at Starbucks, because I worked at Starbucks before and I enjoyed working there, but I didn't know how much I enjoyed it until I left it. So the fact that this Starbucks wants me too is like, now there's a lot of pros and cons with all these jobs, so I just had to sit and think about it, like, which one do I take? And I'm just overwhelmed. I'm good overwhelmed because even though I just lost my job like 2 weeks ago, God has opened up all these doors and opportunities, and especially like jobs that I actually enjoy, because I enjoy being a barista. I enjoy serving coffee. I actually love coffee. So the fact that I have the opportunity to work at these coffee shops is great. Now it's all in, which one do I choose? Now I have so many options. And as a person with anxiety, it's good, but it's like, oh my goodness, I don't want to disappoint anybody, but now I have to make a decision of which one I want. But I wanted to share this story with you guys because I know, like, last week before all these job opportunities was coming in, I was a little stressed out. And I was just like, man, it wasn't that I was like super stressed out, but I just know I'm a very productive person and I don't like sitting at home. And I know that man Bill is going to come knock at my door like he does every month and say, sis, where's the money? Because last time I checked, you like this phone to be on, and you like to buy nice things, and you like to have food, and you like to have your bills paid, so give me the money. But that was like the main thing. But just, you know, talking to my mom and everything, she kind of calms me down when I have those, what she call meltdowns or breakdowns. So talking to her, she just kind of reminded me, like, sometimes you need to have a talk with your higher power. But my higher power is God. And you just have to let them know, like, hey, I'm a little struggling down here and I need your help. So please come help me. And once I had that talk, I promise you, and I spoke it into the air, all these blessings started raining down on me. And I wanted to share this story with you guys because if, you know, you're in that same boat of just like, you know, I need some guidance and I need some help, man, talk to your higher power or whoever you believe in and just let them know, like, hey, I'm doing everything right and I'm trying my best, and just come through for me. Because as all my older generations tell me, God doesn't move on your time, he moves on his time, and his time is always right. And let me tell you, baby, they did not lie to me. Hold on, y'all, let me do this other little puffball side because I kept running out during this little story time. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back from that messy clay. That clay gets everywhere, and I see why I don't do this really often, but I'm done now. But besides the messy clay, I am going to leave this in my hair for about 20 minutes or so. Then I'm just going to, like I said, I'm just going to rinse it out really good, deep condition it, and that's about it. But I wanted to sit here and share one of my stories with you guys because I don't know if there's somebody out there that needs that message, that if God or your higher power is listening to you, you just have to be patient. And I do know for a fact that there are times where I am impatient and I just think he's not listening to me, and I kind of sometimes feel like I need to give up. But that's what negative energy wants you to do. So don't give up. You just have to be patient and things will fall through. And I know that I need to remind myself of that sometimes as well, because when great things like this happen for me, it just shows like you have to wait and be very patient. But I hope you guys like this type of thing going on where we just sit and talk, because I feel like with my videos, I'm always just waiting for something cool to happen for me in order to do a video. I like to do videos when I go out and about and, you know, doing something exciting because I think that's something people want to see. But I also think I need to switch it up. So that's why I thought today would be cool to do a story time with you guys. Let me know if you like these story times because I am a book. I have stories about everything. So if you want to hear any type of story, you know, comment below. As long as it's not nothing too wild, I'll share it. But I'll definitely have some stories for you guys. So, you know, like I said, comment down below, you know, more video ideas. I'm very open. And also comment down below, tell me how God or your higher power came through for you. Let me know, because I love hearing stories like that, because I think those are very positive stories that people need to read and see, because sometimes we do feel like we're by ourselves in these situations, but we need to see other people are going through it as well and see how they came through at the end. But like I said before, I hope you liked the video. Go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe, and I'ma see y'all later. Bye.